Greetings YouTube and welcome to the Dragoon's Den. In today's video we're going to be talking about the Jump Fiesta Dragons, who are Collapse Serpent, the Ebony Dragon, Wyvern the Ivory Dragon, and Komodo Dragon. Now of these, I talked more about the Komodo Dragon in my last video, and I kinda got these guys mixed up. For some reason I thought they missed timing when they were sent from the field to graveyard. I was wrong on this. They're actually if you can effects, so no matter how they hit the graveyard, you'll get their effect off. They just have to hit the graveyard. Wonderful. But back to this guy. Now, I admit to hyping this guy a little bit, but at the same time, I kind of regret how much I said because I found him rather underwhelming in testing. At least in a standard disaster dragon or even a creature swap disaster, it just wasn't really working. People just kept on having outs to every one of my plays, and whereas the egg just seemed to be able to get the most out of this guy, since you could pitch it for Rabin, and then you drop a dragon from your hand onto the field. And what I meant to say in the last video was you could use him to set up a Light and Darkness dragon, not to actually summon him or Yamada. Because what I was saying was, you could send Komodo Dragon to the graveyard, and then you can get a Totem Dragon from your hand onto the field. Or you can get like that second dragon you need to sack off for Light and Darkness dragon and just sit on that. I did not mean the Komodo Dragon could be used to summon Lad. That's just not the case. So that being said though, these guys, I'm liking a lot. Ebony and Ivory, while you may think don't have much use in Disaster Dragon, are actually much better in the deck than I initially gave them credit for. And that's because I didn't really think of them as floaters that could be used for all kinds of things. I was just thinking of them as like replacing beatsticks. Well, they are that, but at the same time, they can be used for so much more. You can use them for synchro fodder, you can use them for tribute fodder, you can use them as Xyz fodder. You can also use them to make certain cards in the deck that you never would see before, like Eclipse Wyvern, more playable. What I mean is, with these guys being able to remove Eclipse Wyvern for their summons, so Collapse Serpent can remove Eclipse Wyvern, and Wyvern can remove Collapse Serpent, Divine Dragon Apocalypse, Dark End Dragon, Maestro, Blackcorn, Queen Dragon Jin. Being able to remove those guys in order to hit the field, you get a steady stream of monsters, and because you can remove Eclipse Wyvern, you can now use him to search out certain cards. Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon, Light and Darkness Dragon. These are your two standout choices. Being able to search out REDMD definitely mitigates the loss of Future Fusion, which was the deck's ultimate toolboxing card. And the Light and Darkness Dragon. People may say he's a bad card right now, and I'm not really going to dispute that. Wormills kind of eat it up. Windups can definitely do some damage, but at the same time though, I do feel the card does have its spot if you can play it well. Lad is one of the worst monsters to be up against during the mid to late game. He just sits there trolling you and your opponent, and then when they finally clear it, you get your Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon back onto the field and you start doing things. And I kind of do think he'll be a little useful in our upcoming fire matchups, since Lad's rather big to begin with, and you kind of just shut off their ability to search out trap cards, and etc, etc, etc. Of course, the problem is these cards that we have here, we probably are not going to be getting until September 2013 because they're OCG cards, and as we know, Konami is painfully slow in importing really good cards. I mean, look how long it took for us to get the Fishboard cards. Let me just type them up. Like, Fishboard Planter. Fishboard Planter. We didn't get these until Return of the Duelist and Abyss Rising, and they have been out in Japan since March 2012. It's kind of sad. So these guys are going to be restricted solely to Dueling Network, and that's just going to make it all the more harder to play Disaster Dragon because these guys are good in the deck, but we can't play Disaster Dragon the way we want to for at least 2 formats. And yeah, that just kind of kills a lot of the joy of it. But when you look past that, and you're willing to put up with the bullshit that is DN, you got yourself some fun guys, because you can just drop one of these, summon Delta Flyer, sync off into Stardust, Exploder, Scrap Dragon, what have you, and then you get another one out. Scrap Dragon is especially useful because you can go Collapse Serpent, remove the Eclipse Wyvern doing so, you get REDMD onto the field, you summon Delta Flyer, you sync into Scrap Dragon, you get Collapse Serpent's effect, get out Wyvern Star, summon Wyvern Star by removing Collapse Serpent, pop Wyvern Star for Scrap Dragon's effect, get another Collapse Serpent from your deck to your hand. You did all that, and you haven't really lost out an advantage. That's pretty good. Not to mention, you can just plunk one of them down, and you can Xyz summon into something like Diagusto Emerald, Lava Vault Chain. these two cards are going to be amazing since you could dump an Eclipse Wyvern into the deck and then remove that Eclipse Wyvern for Collapse Serpent. Or you could stack either one on top, since very likely you're going to be making Daigusto, Emerald, or Lava Ball Chain off of a Gebeb Alexandrite play. Just go Gebeb, get Alexandrite, detach Gebeb, put Collapse Serpent on top of your deck, and next turn, just start rolling. I've also got the Masked Dragon engine in here because I still find it to be rather useful. Yes, Mermills do kind of just laugh at it, but hey, you kind of have to accept that. The Mermill matchup already is pretty tough. I would definitely have to side considerably for them, and that's one thing I have to mention is side decking with this new style of disaster is definitely going to be a bit of trouble, since we can't really use Soul Drain with these guys, and Soul Drain hurts, Macrocosmo hurts, so you kind of have to use cards like the Bunk in order to handle the Mermill matchup and the Dark World matchup, etc., etc., etc. All in all, I do think that these guys have tremendous potential with Disaster Dragon. Their applications of Chaos Dragon are obvious. It's kind of like how Reborn Tengu, you didn't really think much of it at first, but then Plants realized, hey, having a recurring floater is pretty good for our synchro plays. And it's kind of like what it's doing here in Disaster. Use a recurring floater for synchro and Xyz plays. And hell, even Plants are starting to use this guy. Just think about this. You put down Collapse Serpent, you normal summon a Spore, you make Hyper Librarian, you remove Collapse Serpent to get out Wyverstar. You summon Wyverstar. You remove Glow Up Bulb to summon Spore at level 4. You make a Stardust. You get a draw. You have a Stardust and a Librarian. It's pretty good. So you're going to be seeing a couple decks come from these cards. You've got basically Dragon Plant Synchro, Disaster Dragon, Neo, Chaos, Turbo, Thingy Majiggy. And then you've got Chaos Dragon. And while people may be saying, oh, you're playing just basically Chaos Dragons with some stun cards, that's kind of like what Disaster Dragon was at first. It was Hopeless Dragon with stun imported into it. And then it started becoming its own thing. And then the deck just kind of changed and changed as the years went on. So basically, what I'm saying is, these guys are amazing. Definitely should test them out. Don't have a concrete build just yet. I mean, this is a very, very, very rough build of mine that I definitely do want to change around, because I don't know if I'm really happy with a 21, 9, 10 monster spell trap line, or if I want to take it down to 18, 11, and 11. So, yeah, changes will be coming with this deck, but I just wanted to show you guys what my thoughts were in regards to Ebony and Ivory, the Devil May Cry Dragons, as I've come to call them. Yes, because, number one, it's shorter, and number two, Devil May Cry references. You can never have enough. So, I hope this video helped you guys and gave you some ideas as to what to do with our new friends here. Long story short, Ebony and Ivory are pretty good. Komodo Dragon, lackluster, but maybe someone will find a way to get the most out of him too. So, until next time, guys, stay frosty.